Hey everybody, I am back today with another Laura Sketches Reimagined video. There is our sketch, and we're going to use these two photos, and then we're going to play with a collection from Tracy Reed. This is a digital collection that I printed at home. So I have 3x4 cards, 4x6 cards, traveler's notebook papers, lots and lots of die cuts, and then I also have some printed out 12x12 papers. Don't think I printed all of the patterns out in 12x12 because I'm not sure why I didn't do it. Maybe I ran out of paper or maybe I ran out of ink, but I will be printing some more of the 12x12 sheets of paper. So I print my paper on Foundations Pure White paper from the Cardstock Warehouse. I'm going to go ahead and kind of flick through my patterns here and decide which ones I need to play with today. The sketch calls for 2 photos, but then there's a third kind of 3x4 area that could be a third photo if you wanted it to be. Since I have all these beautiful 3x4 journaling cards here from the collection, I'm just going to grab a couple. Not quite sure which one I wanted to use, so you'll see me kind of audition a couple here. I'm going to go with that one that's on the top now that says, "This is the good stuff." Just kind of flicking through, make sure I'm not missing anything that's going to be really, really good, right, for my photos. So once I have that chosen here, I'm going to start to kind of cut the pattern paper for my layers. So I kind of have the printout of my sketch off to the side to kind of help me, give me an idea of how I want to layer these papers up. I'm finding Laura Whitaker's sketches use a lot of layers of pattern paper, and which is totally fine with me. But it does mean that I kind of am sometimes just trying to figure out what size and which patterns I want to use, but I am loving how these layouts are turning out. I have also been really enjoying using pattern paper backgrounds recently. For a long time, I was on a white cardstock kick, and now I appear to be on a patterned paper kick. So there's that. You could certainly use 3x4 photos on this layout. That would make it easy. There is a lot of shades of gray in this collection, and I love how kind of muted the tones and colors are, but I also wanted to make sure that my layers don't get lost with each other. So I'm going to ink everything up with my gray Hickory Smoke Distress Oxide ink. So I have those 2 strips of paper. I'm going to put them more towards closer to the bottom of my layout. My reason for that is because when you look at the sketch, there is this area where you place your title that kind of juts out at above the photos, and I really liked that part of the sketch. I thought it was a cool design idea, so I want to be able to use this 3x4 card and put that little bit, and that's going to kind of take up what would kind of be that middle space. So at the end of the day, like the whole layout, the title, everything is going to be very, it's going to look more centered on the page. So next up, I have a couple scraps of paper here that I have used on other projects, and I'm just going to go ahead and kind of measure them out and fishtail them. And then I'm going to use this crazy old like embossing tool thing. Oh man, that thing comes in handy for so many more things. And I'm going to go ahead and use that to mark where my banners need to end so I can trim them to just the size I want them to be at. So I have a lot of kind of patterns going on. I don't want to overload my page with patterns, so I'm going to go ahead and not back my photos with any kind of patterned paper or even just white paper. I felt like it didn't need it. I was happy with how the photos and the card looked against the patterns that I already have going on here. So this particular kit is from Tracy Reed, and it's called the Love List. It's a really cool collection. I love Tracy Reed's designs so much, and the girl made me buy a printer. That's all I'm saying. So I could print all of her lines and collections and have these beautiful patterns to play with in my scrapbook room. It also helps that AC Digital's, that website has all of Chamel's past lines, and also a couple other of the older collections that I wish I had more of. So by buying them digitally, I can always print more out, and I don't feel like I need to hoard my certain supplies. So that's a really fun thing to have. The sketch calls for like 3 kind of strips at the top. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this orange and plaid pattern that I had left on my, it's like, they were like scraps from the other things that I went ahead and the other patterns I used. And then I'm going to use this dark gray washi. So I have been absolutely loving washi tape that is solid colored and matte. So it's not really translucent. It's a little bit more opaque. Jen Hatfield's Reaching Out collection for American Crafts has a set of washi tape that's like solid colored. And I love that. It's so cool. Like, it's just, I love it. And so I have found some washi love. I know that I don't really like patterns, but I love the thin solid washi, and I have been using it quite a lot recently. So I'm just trimming this off. I wasn't sure how wide of a strip I wanted to use to make all 3 of the layers for the top strips kind of go together, but I decided, so I kind of decided that as I went along, and then I did have a little bit left to trim out. Just gonna go ahead and make sure all of my edges are nice and inked with that Hickory Smoke Distress Oxide ink. And now for my title. I am going to die cut my title using the Everett alphabet from Kathy Zilski Designs. And you can find this alphabet die set at Simon Says Stamp. I love this font. It's so fun. And I use it quite often. I know what my title is going to be, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to die cut my title from 3. So each letter, I'm going to die cut it 3 times out of white cardstock, and then the last time I'm going to die cut it out of that bright pinky reddish color 4x6 card you see there, kind of creating my own thickers, or like faux but better than chipboard kind of a look. And now I've fast forwarded. You don't need to see me do all that. I did all the die cutting, all the layering, and here are my finished letters. And I'm just going to go ahead and place them right along that top of my layout. So it's going to kind of over in the sketch. It's the whole title kind of stays on that little pocket card that sticks out from the top, right? But I'm not going to do that. I'm going to have it span most of the top of my where my photos and things are. Now I'm going to go ahead and grab these little die cut pieces and create some clusters. I'm going to pop a couple things up with some pop dust just for a little bit more dimension. And I'm going to create kind of a not quite diagonal line that's going to start where you see the bottom beside my photo, and that kind of comes up to my title. And I'm going to add a couple little pieces to that 3x4 card. So in Tracy Reed's shop, these are called stickers because if you want to, you can print them onto sticker paper and then have your silhouette cut around them. And then you can have stickers that are cut and ready to go for you. She does include the silhouette files, which is really cool for the print and cut feature. I generally tend to print the stickers onto Epson matte presentation paper, and then I fussy cut them. My only reason for doing that is because I'm not a fan of the big, thick white border that you can get. I'm not a fan of any kind of white border, like just like the thinnest of white borders, maybe. So I like having control over the borders of my die cuts. So my personal preference is to fussy cut them. And I usually print like all the stickers from a collection, sit down and like binge watch a show or watch a movie I've been meaning to watch and go fussy cut crazy. But that's just me. There are way easier ways to print and to cut these die cuts, and lots of ways you can use them. So I just have this clusters. Here you go. I love the little pop of the black and white hearts. So cute. And we are going to call this one pretty much done. I didn't really add, sometimes I'll come in with like Nuvo drops or sequins, and that would work and that would be awesome. But for whatever reason today, I was just more like, let's just call it done. And so that's what I did. Thank you all so very much for joining me today. I hope you are enjoying Laura Whitaker's sketches. We're halfway through the year, so it's time to start thinking about whose sketches we want to use for next year maybe. If you have a good suggestion, leave it in the comments below, and I'll see you all again soon. Bye!